John, Vander Kane had some words about Michael Bunting after the game last night. Said he's a diver. I mean, what do you make of that sort of comment?
Bunch is a competitor. He plays hard, obviously, plays with a lot of emotion, and really tries to play on that fine line. So, play with him quite a bit now. I think he's a competitor and plays hard.
Vander suggested that referees get in the way of players policing the game by going to fight guys like that. Do you feel like that, in general, is an idea that fighting should be for that sort of situation?
Sorry, say that again.
He said that referees get in the way these days of if he wants to fight Michael, he can't do it. But in general, I'm wondering if you think that's an area that you should be fighting about.
I mean, that's it's a tough one. I think. I think Bunce is just trying to play hard. Obviously, he has his own opinion, but I think Bunce is trying to play hard, trying to be on the fine line. Like I said, plays with a lot of emotion. We love him. We think he's a great teammate, and that's all I really have to say about it.
Have you been informed about your fine?
Yep. Yeah, obviously I got to be better in that scenario, controlling your emotions better. So that's on me, and understood it.
What are you feeling there, though?
It just obviously gives heat of the moment. Obviously, course of things throughout the game, and just have to control your emotions better in that situation. Regardless of what I may feel or something going on that I don't like. So, I'm better than that, and I learn from it.
Overall, should some intensity be expected in a game like that, where there's a lot of hype going in, and in many ways you live up to it with scoring and everything else?
Yeah, for sure. It was a competitive night. Two really good teams going at it. So, excitement on a Saturday. So, yeah, definitely entertaining one. And I think, obviously, happy about the way we responded in the second period and grabbed control of the game and got the result we want.
Obviously, you had your way with Buffalo last time. What sort of game are you expecting tomorrow night?
They're obviously competing for playoff positioning, and a team that's really coming on here this season. Very dynamic team. Obviously, Thompson, Darlene having great seasons, and a lot of their supporting cast and depth too. You've seen the strides that they've taken, so we have to be prepared and ready for what they bring, and obviously continue to assert our game.
Vander Kane's comments last night.
I don't really care, to be honest. Not going to lose sleep over it. Just made a few comments, but I'm not really the type to bring it to the media, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
What was that sequence like? It felt like it went on forever, that wrestling match. Like, what's going through your mind as it played out? There was no whistle. Yeah,
to be honest, I just was breaking out, and he got in my way and kind of held me all the way down, and I just tried to get to the net because I knew we were on a power play, so I wanted to get to my position, and then the rest unfolded. So, yeah.
How did you see the embellishment call on you early in the game? It didn't obviously look like much was going on there.
Yeah, I just went to forecheck, and he got in my way, and he hit me. But you know what? This is the ref's call, and you just got to keep playing.
Is that frustrating at all when you're trying to walk the line and still see things like that kind of get called?
Yeah, it is. Like, it is what it is. I just stick to my game. I play every shift hard, and I try to compete out there, and I try not to let things bug me right now. So I'm moving on from it.
Is that a bit of a product of a very intense game last night?
Yeah.
You and John's incident and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's two really good teams, two skilled teams, but two competitive teams going at it, and it was a fun game to be a part of. And I thought both teams were competing hard out there, and happy enough that we got the win.
Just back to the refs for a minute. Are there things that you'd like to say but are restrained from saying because who wants to get in trouble?
Nope. I got nothing to say. So moving on from that.
What did you make of the mix with you and John on the line together last night?
Yeah, I played with John a few times this year, so I'm comfortable with him in the middle there, and I kind of know his game. He works hard and he makes a lot of plays, and he can shoot the puck, and he showed that last night. So we're still together now, and we want to build that chemistry each game. So I'm looking forward to it.
What's the role of fighting in today's game? Evander was saying, and I know you're not too interested in getting into it with him, but he's like, I'd like to get into it with, like, drop the gloves with guys like that, but the refs jump in. I'm just wondering, like, how you see the view of fighting in today's game. Like, would you ever feel like you have to fight if someone's going at you like that?
Yeah, I think you have to protect yourself out there, and if it comes to fighting, it comes to fighting. I'm not against fighting. I still think, it's a part of our game, and it's going to be for a while. So Yeah, I think you just have to protect yourself out there and be competitive every single shift, and that's what I try to do.
You've also had to jump in, and some line mates have been dropped off.
Yeah,
Part of it as well.
yeah, exactly. It's part of it. I like to have my teammates back. It's something that I pride myself on is if they're into something out there, I'm gonna be flying in with them. So I think that just builds a team and builds the character of a team, and I think all of us would say the same thing, that we like to back each other up out there. So yeah, exactly. It's part of the game, and it's a very competitive game and physical game, and that stuff comes with it.
Last night, notwithstanding, you'd only had like 1 penalty in the last 10. Did you recalibrate at some point this season to refine the line?
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I play on the line, and I can get over it a little bit. But I've been trying to focus on not putting the team shorthanded, and obviously both penalties last night were 4-on-4, so I feel like I didn't really hurt the team. And yeah, I tried to be disciplined out there, but also play that line because that's my game. That's my game, to be competitive and every single shift. So I want to bring that, because if I don't, then I'm off my game.
Before the game in New Jersey, you said it is what it is when it comes to your game. Do you feel like you're kind of getting some traction here, back in a rhythm the last couple?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my rhythm going again, and yeah, just try to play my game exactly that, is be competitive every night and kind of get to my spots that I excel at, and get to the front of the net and compete. So yeah, it's going to be game by game, and I'm looking forward to getting it all back and putting this behind me.
Yesterday morning, Sheldon said that you and Tavares would be the two bodies that he anticipates moving around a lot in the concluding 5 weeks. How does that impact your rhythm? Does it matter at all if you're moving up lines, down lines, up lines?
No, I don't think so. I think you got to play your game no matter where you are in the lineup. And I want to do that. I want to bring my competitive, which I've been saying, and I want to contribute offensively as well, because I feel like I can do that. And no matter what line I'm on, I'm going to bring that. And I enjoy playing with anybody on this team. And yeah, so I just kind of go with the flow.
What do you appreciate about Achari's game?
Oh yeah, he was a beast last night, and he's a beast every night since he's been here. He's a great guy off the ice, and yeah, he's strong, he's physical, and he has that scoring touch, and he showed it last night. So he's a great addition, and we're all really happy to have him.
You played with Mitch for a long time. How does he get these takeaways? Because you feel like they should be worried about him, and yet they always seem to he gets the puck.
Yeah, he's sneaky out there. He sees the game really well. He sees it before it even happens, and I think that's something that he's been doing his whole career, and he showed that last night with the 2 interceptions. One was his goal, and then one that he fed to Willie. So yeah, that's what makes him an elite player, that he reads the game really well, and he's really smart out there. So he put that on show last night.
Could be another emotional game tomorrow. Buffalo here, playing into a playoff spot. Always a fun rivalry. What are you expecting from Buffalo third time around?
Yeah. Yeah, we got the win last time against them, and I'm sure they're going to come in because obviously they're fighting for a playoff spot. So every game matters for them, and they're going to be competitive. And yeah, they're always fun games because there is obviously a little rivalry since I was a little kid with Buffalo and Toronto. So, but yeah, no, it's just fun games to be a part of, and I'm looking forward to it.
How you feeling after last night?
Yeah, feel good. It was obviously an exciting game. I thought the team did a heck of a job. Especially in that second period, that's where the game could have flipped either way, and we did a heck of a job sticking with it, and obviously scoring a few quick goals there. And after that, the team played great, and we shut it down. So all around, just a great team win.
How big was your save on that tip? It was 3-1, I think, at that point. One of the turning points, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that again, that second period is kind of where I thought the game, like I said, it could have gone either way. And we held, we bent and didn't break, and with our firepower, we know that if we stay in games, we can always give ourselves a chance. So that's what happened last night, and we did a heck of a job.
How did you feel about your game last night?
Good. I felt better as the game went on. Didn't feel great in the first period timing wise, but as the game went on, settled in, and yeah, I felt pretty good.
Was that a byproduct, you think, of you hadn't played? Like, it's been weird. You come back after a long break, and then you get one game and then another week.
It could be that, yeah. I just try to take things one step at a time and one shot at a time. And yeah, I didn't love the first period on my part, but like I said, I felt better and better as the game went on.
Is
the opponent factor in those kind of situations? Like not even just layoff, but you had Vancouver to start, and then you got McDavid and maybe some key guys to kind of key in on in that situation.
Well, yeah. I mean, when McDavid's out there, you got to be, you got to be on your toes. He can just, he can create. He's so much different than any other player. He's just so much faster, and the speed at which he operates is just so much faster. So you definitely need to be aware of a guy like that for sure.
So what were you seeing as he came in on you there on the goal he ends up scoring?
Yeah, I just I noticed he's been going 5-hole a lot this year on guys, and you just try to be as patient as you can there, and he's just kind of walking down the middle. That's one of those plays where just with his speed and his skill, he's able to create space for himself and kind of come right down the slot. You just it's kind of a patience game at that point. You just try to hold your patience, and a guy like that, he makes a good play and puts it 5-hole. So yeah, it's a good player making a good play.
Darnell Nurse said he knew you were starting because you didn't speak to him all day, didn't send him a text or anything. Do you guys chat at all on the ice?
I figured he was busy. That's why. And he's from here. I figured he had a lot of people to hang around with. That's the only reason. Yeah. We spoke a bit after the game, so it was good. Yeah.
What's it like to play him? Obviously, you guys are pretty tight, go way back.
Yeah. I like playing against him. Love seeing him. Definitely a guy who I have a lot of love and respect for. So it's always cool to see him, hang out with him. We hung out a little bit in Edmonton there too when we were on the road. So just always great to see him.
I know you take things day to day, but how do you kind of manage what your workload or what an ideal workload would be like for you between now and ramping up to the postseason?
I try not to think too much about that. That's kind of out of my control. Like you said, I just take things one step, one evolution at a time, and it's coach's decision who plays and when. So I just try to take care of my business and let things go from there.
Whether you're playing or not, do you do anything different, like in terms of your preparation going into when the games kind of get more intense and they get to this point of the season?
Yeah, I mean, like a day like today, I just took the goalie ice, and so yeah, when you're playing, you definitely do things a little bit differently for sure. But that's again goes back to just taking things one day at a time.
Do you lose anything from not, like obviously you get the rest by not being out in the main practice, and it's not like that, it's 30 minutes or whatever it is. Do you feel like you're missing anything when you don't do the main group practice?
No, I think our goalie ice is really key. That's something that we do every day, and that's what I think is really important for staying sharp as a goalie. That way you can get more game-like reps. Honestly, when you do goalie ice in practice, it's all kind of just down the pipe, and so that goalie ice is, I think, extremely important in staying sharp, and like I said, just getting those real game-like reps as much as you possibly can. Obviously, without the game itself.
What's your perspective on what Achari has brought since he's come over?
A lot of intangible stuff. He just seems to be always in the right position. He defends hard, he hits, he's tough. He's been scoring. And yeah, he's just a hard worker. He's got leadership qualities. You can't say enough. And I've said it right since he got here. I think he's fit in great right from the get-go. And you can't say enough about him. And it's great to see him being successful.
Like, why do you feel that way?
Because his playoff is coming soon. Yeah. Just 17 games. Yeah.
Countdown is on.
Yeah, this more important time how you prepare it for a playoff. It's really important what you're doing in a practice, maybe what you eat. This why it's pre-playoff mode. That's why you need a more focus for small details in a playoff. Everybody know this hockey is easy sport for us, but not small detail in a playoff.
What do you do different?
I'm not too different a lot, but we more focus for details in a practice. You try to get some little bit more clean food, with everything, more mental. It's hard to do if you not doing great before a playoff. You didn't change in one day. It's not working like that. You need to prepare it for this time.
I always notice you're always the last guy off. You're always the last guy off, or you're usually the last guy in the change room, or do you just like to think after practices and games, or what's the reason for that?
We're just more working with a goalie coach. It's not too easy. Yeah, but if you want to get better, you need to do this every day.
What was it like? Oh, go ahead. Sorry. What was it like on the bench last night to watch Connor, to watch what Mitch did, to watch Evander fight with Bunting? What was it? A lot of emotion on the bench?
I didn't watch a lot, like in the bench. Game like game. But I'm so excited we won this game, for sure. Nice to see battle Austin against Connor. So I'm so excited for guys. It's a nice win, imported 2 points, great comeback in the second period. That's what I mean.
You played Edmonton last week. What's it like playing Connor McDavid this year with what he's doing?
It's interesting. He's animal, yeah. He's doing in a pretty good pace. You need a couple shifts for prepared for this. His speed. It's a little bit hard. He's doing a little bit different than guys in NHL. Yeah, he's a really good player, no question. He's probably the best one in the league right now.
So you were talking about the playoffs. I'm wondering how hungry you are for the playoffs. You've had a couple of chances in the NHL, but to get a real run.
This is my favorite time, playoff. You don't have, like everybody run to the Stanley Cup. Yeah, this hard road, everybody understands this one. It's my favorite time. This every goalie want to play in a playoff, and we will see what's going on.
What do you like about being teammates with Michael Bunting?
He's nice. Dirty Mike, yeah. He's so nice. He's a nice teammate. It's perfect. We need this player in the playoffs. This is really important. And he got a lot of points too this year. Yeah, he's feel confidence. He's scoring. He's got a passing. He's doing a lot of work for a teammate, for a team. Yeah.
When he gets the other team agitated, what does that mean for your team?
Again,
when he gets the other team upset, gets maybe under their skin, upsets them, what does that mean to the league?
Well, this is perfect, we see emotion, guys, yeah, like a Kane last night, or he's doing great job, really important, like Brett Marchand do it, yeah, this same thing. He's got a same, yeah, he's doing the same.
How do you handle the situation with Kane last night as that played out?
I don't know, haven't really thought about it. It was a great hockey game last night. That's where the focus should be.
What have you liked from the 3 games that you've had 11 and 7?
Well, obviously, I like that it allows us to keep our defensemen involved, Gustafsson in particular, and you make the decisions when you bring these guys in. You need to keep them involved, because it's one thing. Now you can start to question whether you should be 12 and 6 and stay with that and everything, and just go with your 6 guys. But we added the depth guys because you don't know what you're going to encounter. We can go with just the 6 guys, and then we get an injury at a key time, and now all of a sudden we have to play someone who hasn't played, and then you're saying, well, how come this guy didn't play? He's not ready. So those are the kind of things you're managing, and we just make the decision here now with O'Reilly being out in terms of the lineup decisions and the replacements. To me, it just makes way more sense for us to utilize our defensemen.
I was going to ask that, like O'Reilly being out, did that kind of maybe push you and lean you towards doing it more often than maybe you expected?
Yeah, for sure. In terms of staying with it, I thought coming back off the trip, maybe we wouldn't do that, but just really processing things, like I said, and with that injury, we think it's important to keep our depth on defense involved and engaged and be able to work through some different things there. And then at the same time, as a byproduct of that, you get going with 11 forwards, and allows me to try some things there too, and keep the guys moving, involved, and with our newer players, Lafferty and Nachari in particular, those guys are naturally moved into different spots and playing more than they otherwise might. So there's some positives that come out of that too at the same time. But in terms of going with it a little more regularly here, it's really out of the fact that I just believe that Gustafson going in as the O'Reilly replacement makes a lot of sense for us for many reasons.
Coach, Mitchell's ability to intercept passes, is it more instinct or skill, or are there tells that you look for in what a player might be doing with the puck?
I think it's a lot of instinct, but I think there certainly are tells. Some players are able to pick up on those and process them quicker and better than others, and Mitch is at the top end of that. So, like I said last night, you look at it, and if you're on the other side, you certainly say it's a bad turnover, but I don't believe those things happen by accident. I think just in terms of Mitch reading off of different plays, and also in some cases, Mitch, when he's approaching, he doesn't come in straight lines. He comes at angles, and he may fake himself, and that might, in some cases, confuse a different player, or a player that will talk himself out of option A and move to option B, and then things go bad. So, you're not sure which one of those things come at play the most in the situations last night, but in general, I think that's what makes Mitch so great off the puck, is because there's so much happening in such a little amount of time that he's able to process and turn into action way more efficiently than the opponent.
Matt Murray says about the potential of McCabe and Hall.
You know what? It's not something we've talked a whole lot about, to be honest. But Dean last night, and the way that things worked out with some of the matchups, he ended up changing the pairs through the game, and liked the way that it looked. And with the 7 defensemen moving things around, he just likes that mix a little bit better. So it's not necessarily anything other than me just trusting Dean and his instincts and what he wants to see from the defense. Obviously, we've got a good sample of McCabe and Brody now, and I think we'll settle to that again at some point, I'm sure. But like I said, just Dean liked the way that it felt yesterday when he made those changes. He felt they were necessary in the game, and thought the guys responded well, so wanted to stay just with that.
Matt said he wasn't particularly pleased about his start last night. How pleased were you, though, that he makes that big save at 3-1 and locks it up later in the game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the game's probably over if they score at that 4-1. To me, that gave our group a ton of confidence on the bench. Obviously, 3 goals. I think it was maybe 9 shots or something like that at the time. And, there's some pretty clean looks at the net, but from good players. But I know he would want to keep at least 1 or 2 of those out. But for him to hold his ground and make the next save, I mean, for us as a team, we shouldn't be giving up that chance. When it's already 3-1, and you can't give up anymore if you want to come back. And we give up a big chance, and he's there, makes a big save. And I thought he was solid there for a good chunk of time that allowed us to really pull away in the game and then maintain our lead. And they started to get their power plays. We're still in a comfortable lead. I think it was a really positive sign that the more he played through that game, that he started to look like he found some confidence and found a rhythm there. That it's been tough. I mean, obviously he didn't play for a long time. He got 1 start, and it's a week between starts. So I thought it was a really good sign that he stayed with it, and he really gave us a chance to come back in the game.
Does that influence you for tomorrow's choice of goalie?
Yeah, it does. Partly, Matt will go tomorrow. Like I said, I think it's just, there's a couple things at play. We got a lot of hockey this week, so both goalies are going to play. But I do think it's important for Matt to get a little bit more consistency in the net rather than large gaps between starts. Again, maybe influenced by the fact that I thought he got better through the game last night. So there's that. We're going to use both guys, and Sammy's not quite at 100% right now either. So it's just it makes a little more sense for me to give him a little more time and get Murray some more consistency in the net.
John gets a fine for a slash, but I'm wondering if you feel like, that's another example like what you talked about with Nylander, where it's not necessarily part of his game, but you don't mind seeing it. I know he's disappointed with himself, but what's kind of your view of that?
Yeah, I think you want to see guys be disciplined, especially in a game like that, and maintain their composure. Yet at times, emotions are high, and the top players particularly, a lot of players take a lot of liberties on them. And especially in tight games, it seems not much of it gets called. Sometimes players have to take it in their own hands in cases like that and stand up for themselves. And for that reason, I got no problem with it. And I think, again, just like William, I have no concerns about John's ability to keep his composure at key times and not cross the line. So, from that to that end, I think we just press on with it.
You get Buffalo tomorrow. I remember being in Buffalo, you said during that game, of course, that was the O'Reilly hat-trick game. That was perhaps the best collectively you've seen the team play all year. How close have they come to that standard since then?
Well, I think what I said, I certainly felt that. And I think looking back on that game after the fact, the way I felt about it was you get a combination of, as good as we've looked and felt, and then from the other side of it, Buffalo wasn't great. They didn't have their game. They're a far better team than that. So you get the combination of the two, which is why we were able to jump ahead the way that we were. So I think we've looked like the same as we were in Buffalo a lot. It just hasn't necessarily always been the combination of the opponent breaking down and giving us those type of opportunities. But Buffalo's a far better team than they were. We're expecting a much more difficult game. Watching the game back from yesterday with them, against the Rangers, and I know they didn't get the win in the end, but to me they were dominant in that game offensively, gave up nothing defensively, and certainly deserved to win the game. So, I know that they're a team pushing hard to remain in the playoff hunt and in the mix, and certainly, much like we remembered the game when we were in Edmonton last night, I'm sure our game in Buffalo is fresh in their minds. So we're going to have to be at our best.